What is up, everybody? It is Ratjitchi and Nick here on Lightning Lloyd YouTube, and today we are back with another TWE conspiracy video. Now, in these TWE conspiracies, we will be talking about certain events that would have happened and changed the timeline, or would have not happened and still changed the timeline and storyline in TWE. Now, on this episode, this one is one that many people probably would have never thought of, and it's actually pretty interesting because something else would have been uploaded instead of this, and that is, what if Nick versus Ratjitchi for the Intercontinental Championship never existed? Let's get right into it. So, before we actually get into the TWE video itself, we are actually going to go over what was supposed to be uploaded instead, and other things we were doing in 2015 for Valentine's Day. From January to February 14th, on Valentine's Day, I came up with a video idea which was supposed to be a Nerf video made by me, Lloyd, Nikolai, and Misha. The video was supposed to be a Nerf war, where me and Nick actually go inside their apartment, into their basement to find some Valentine's candy that we actually fight for, because Nikolai and Misha were supposed to be the other people we were supposed to fight against to get it. However, during the process of this video, we didn't get much done, and on the day of Valentine's Day, we couldn't record in the basement because their mom said we weren't allowed to. So, that kind of stumped us a lot. You know, it really sucked, and what's even more sad is that this video is actually from 2014, and I can't really find any clips because we actually did do the video. However, I can't find any clips that we were doing with the Valentine's Day video that was supposed to be a Nerf video, and for some reason they just disappeared. But yes, this is the only video that I found, but it's from 2014, so it's pretty weird how I find this, but I can't find the other clips from 2015, which I would have been really happy to show you guys, but sadly I could not, because I could not find them. But yes, this is what was supposed to be uploaded on Valentine's Day of 2015. It was supposed to be a Nerf video. Didn't get uploaded, sadly, or made, so yeah. So even after all that, we really didn't have anything else to upload for Valentine's Day. That is, until the idea of a Lego stop motion came into my mind. It was supposed to be something that had to do with zombies, or something along the lines of something with soldiers. However, I wouldn't have enough time to make it because stop motion takes quite some time, so I threw that out. And you can guess what came later on as the final option for Valentine's Day. Ah yes, the wonderful, historical Ratjitchi versus Nick Intercontinental Championship match. This was the only thing that actually came in my mind because I didn't have anything to upload. TWE wasn't something that we uploaded a long time ago, and I even say in the description of the video, so I decided that I would make a small type of like mashup video. In fact, this was the first video to ever be like a highlights video. And funny thing, this is the only video where the trampoline is on the other side, and the only match to be recorded on the other side. Even more fun facts come along the way. Did you know that Ratjitchi's original song was the NWO's original theme? And did you know that Nick's original theme song was Triple H's old theme song? It's amazing, isn't it? And this was also the first video where we actually commentated our names and weight and whatever and the theme songs from the camera, not a voiceover in iMovie. Anyways, let's get into the original part of the video. Okay, so first thing is first. Little do you guys know, this of course was the first debuts of TWE wrestlers Nick and Ratjitchi. However, if this was never uploaded, the video would have been scrapped. What gets even more worse is that Nick and Ratjitchi would have never made their debuts, which kinda sucks because they were two electrifying wrestlers. However, later in the story, Nick would still make an appearance. This is because the other person's scream will not just keep on taking over. We would of course need more wrestlers, so Nick comes into place. But the question about Ratjitchi still goes in our mind. Let's go back to Nick. Way later in 2015, a video was uploaded under the title Easter and 200 subscriber special, which was actually a triple threat match between Rage, Angelo, and Nick for the United States Championship. So, ever since Angelo got us into WWE and I was introduced to TWE from other YouTubers, we decided that we would have Angelo in our videos. When it came to the matches, he of course joined in, so we let him. However, the idea of Nick came in. That was because Scream didn't really look like he'd fit in this match, and probably because the Scream person wasn't even here. So, we decided, hey, let's just have a triple threat match with us. So, that's where Nick's legacy began, and that's where Nick would have came into the place. We wouldn't need Ratjitchi, however, because we still have Rage, and Rage was a powerhouse back in 2015 in his prime. So, this is where Nick would have made his debut. Nick, of course, didn't make many appearances in a lot of other videos. However, you need to think twice. That is because we probably would have never threw out Scream. Scream still would have had a chance, and we can't let every single wrestler just keep on winning and winning like Nick. But, instead, Nick might have never had his streak. Nick might have never been as popular and climbed to the top of the TWE roster. So his fame probably would have never been that big. Speaking of Scream, Rage and Nick would have such a very big feud that the only two wrestlers left would be Scream and Angelo, leaving them with also a big feud because there were only 4 wrestlers. Cardoso was new at the time, but he would most likely be a jobber and be used for other things, which is why we'll get into the Royal Rumble next. But yes, this would be 2 big feuds with Scream and Angelo and Rage and Nick. Since we have been talking about Nick so much, finally we get to Ratjitchi's part about where he comes into the TWE storyline. One of the biggest events ever in TWE was of course the Royal Rumble, which called for a mercy of wrestlers, where we came up with new wrestlers and everything like that. And one of those wrestlers was Ratjitchi, of course, and this would have been the match Ratjitchi would have debuted in. However, this time, Ratjitchi's just a little bit different though. Ratjitchi was more of a joke character, so he wasn't really taken serious, just like Scream and Killer Clown. But still, this would have been his debut match. However, you need to pause there for a moment though. Ratjitchi most likely would have not made an appearance at all in TWE. That is because when Ratjitchi vs. Nick was uploaded, it was actually supposed to be Rage vs. Nick, and Rage was supposed to lose to Nick. However, I changed the name because I wanted new wrestlers. But Ratjitchi would have been totally unknown. We would have never known anything about him because the video would have never been uploaded. Instead, there either would have been a new character, or sadly, Ratjitchi would have been scrapped, and Ratjitchi would have never, ever made an appearance in TWE. This is still yet the same for Nick though, because even though Nick would have never been as famous, Rage would still be a very big powerbomb and most likely win at the TWE finale, most likely leaving Nick to be in the Royal Rumble 2 and possibly more matches. However, you can say, hey, what if Ratjitchi stayed in TWE? What if he was brought back? Well, let's go on to Royal Rumble 2. Good old Ratjitchi, still a joke character even in the Royal Rumble 2 if he stayed. However, it's kind of bad though because we're not so sure if we would still keep him as a joke character or even keep him at all. However, I will tell you this, if we did keep him, there would be no Fish, of course, because he's the joke character of TWE and Nick would have made an appearance. And of course for next year, because this was 2016, he still would have been the joke character, and we probably would have pushed Nick way more. So, that's what would have happened. Still, even if Ratjitchi stayed for next year, we probably would have changed his character, because him as a joke character still wouldn't really look good, and plus we would have took TWE more serious the next year anyways. Not to mention, I don't think any other wrestlers would be introduced. Any new wrestlers would not be made. This is because we would have just stuck with the old cycle of the same wrestlers. In the end, the wrestlers are wrestlers and there most likely would have never been any more jobbers. So that basically wraps up what would happen if Ratjitchi vs. Nick was never uploaded or made. But I'm happy to say that it was, and it worked out pretty good with the storyline with these two amazing wrestlers. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, and you enjoy these TWE conspiracy videos, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave your ideas below if you have any more other TWE conspiracy videos you want me to make. In other words, thanks for watching.